What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today is going to be an interesting one because I'm actually going to talk about some of my top altcoin picks that I've discussed in the last year on my YouTube channel. And obviously the market has taken a downtrend that not a lot of people saw coming. Before everyone else, I was indeed talking about Trump sending the markets. Unfortunately, this has not happened for a variety of reasons. Whereas Bitcoin is still doing quite good overall. I mean, 80-something K is still good for Bitcoin. A lot of altcoins are in complete bear market territory. And while a lot of people are just thinking of selling now, collecting dust, there's probably going to be a parabolic run at some point for a lot of projects. Unfortunately, a lot of them are also not going to recover. So this is what I'm trying to do in this video. I'm going to tell you if any of these altcoin picks are going to recover or not. And these are my picks. These are probably the altcoins that I've covered more extensively in the last year. These are not your picks. These are my picks. So full disclaimer. And I could also as well have forgotten about some of the picks that I've talked about. So if you really think that I've forgotten about something, feel free to note it down in the comments and perhaps I'm going to reply to you if it makes sense what you're talking about. And whatever, at the end of the day, this is my list and I'm holding the majority, if not all, of the altcoins I'm going to talk about today. I've divided this in 3 sections just to keep it as straightforward and simple as possible. So we're going to make it. So altcoins that are probably going to recover and go to a new all-time high. Maybe altcoins that could recover but as well could not recover and not going to make it. So these altcoins, in my opinion, have a stronger chance of not recovering and, just perhaps even going to zero. I would call this in the WAGMI section if at least they are going to the previous all-time high or at least close to the previous all-time high. If they're not going anywhere near the previous all-time high, I'm going to put them into the maybe or not going to make it category. So I hope it makes sense before you guys ask me, oh, what does this mean, blah, blah, okay? Obviously, it's subjective, it's open to interpretation, and now enough with disclaimer, no financial advice, you know the drill, let's get started. So the first one is Say. Say, to me, is an extremely easy, we all gonna make it. I think that Say is the greatest hedge that I can see right now in my portfolio into risk to reward territory. I don't think that the risk of buying Say right now is all that high, but the reward could be just phenomenal in my eyes. And I'm gonna show you how just on this chart. I think it makes it quite straightforward. So you can see that we had a double bottom in this area, and unfortunately the support line did not hold because obviously the market just went and, took a very crazy dump, especially last week with the tariffs and everything. I'm sure that you guys know the drill. You can see that the next accumulation zone for Say is this channel right here that goes from the 20 cents down until the 15 cents. And we actually almost touched that with a wick the other day, but we didn't really go to the very bottom of the range. I honestly do not think that we're going below that. I think that at the most we could just maybe wick down here, but then have a V-shaped recovery from there. So I think that 12 cents will probably be the lowest that I would see Say going. So just on top of my head, this is somewhere around a 30% down from the current levels. So even if I was to buy Say at 30% down from here, if I know that it's going to go to the previous all-time high and that would be a 5 to 6x from here, I'm just not going to bother just thinking about the perfect entry, because the perfect entry might not even ever come. You can see that on the other side that we are in oversold territory. We are almost to be completely oversold if it was to touch that line on the RSI. I'm looking at the weekly chart, but you can see similar charts on other time frames. So this is, to me, is just very clear. I'm not gonna keep it so long for every single altcoin in this list, but I mean, Say to me is just the most obvious, and this is why I decided to put it just right there. I also want to put Kaspa on top because everybody's gonna ask me, oh, what a Kaspa? Kaspa is in a bear market. Listen, the thing with Kaspa is that Kaspa topped so early on because it was the best performing asset during the bear market, and as a result, everybody was surprised when the bull market run came around and Kaspa was really not performing high as opposed to other assets like Sui that did a 5x from my alert, etc, etc. If you want to get on my alerts, you guys know the drill. Go and check out my private group. It's going to be the first thing down in the description. I'm going to talk about it at the end of the video if you guys are interested in joining. But I'm not surprised that Kaspa entered this sort of bear market big correction territory. We're actually 70% from the all-time high, so we can actually argue that Kaspa is in a bear market. How long this is going to last? It could last a couple of weeks, it could last a couple of months, or even 1 year. year. We just don't know that. But the thing is that Kaspa seems to be front-running narratives and market momentum, etc. But if the liquidity of the market is not there, if institutions are not buying, if Trump keeps flooding the market, I'm sorry to break it down to you, Kaspa can just perform well. It cannot do that. But I know that nothing changes fundamentally. Nothing changes when it comes to the tokenomics, with the mission, with the tech, with the crescendo update of 10 blocks per second, or with the potential exchange of these things like Binance on the horizon. These things are going to come, but they're not going to save Kaspa until the actual market fixes itself. It's a market problem. It's not a Kaspa problem. The chart looks terrible in this very moment. I know, I am completely aware of it, but I also know that the recovery will be freaking huge. So I am really not concerned about all of this. I am just not bothered about it. I'm holding my bag, and I know that it's going to go for a parabolic run in the future. So it's going to sit at the very top of my list. Now, Shirley, I'm going to keep it real. I don't think it's going to make it. I think that the market, just like the narrative of Shirley, is so weak in this moment. It was kind of something before he went on to, like, you know, Pump Fun, etc. Then after Pump Fun took over, I don't think that social fi is going to be a thing. I think that if any social fi projects are going to do well in this bull market, it's probably going to be the new ones yet to be released. And I have one that it's a secret pick of my private group, and some of my members participated to the private sale. And for all you guys that are not in the group, you're probably going to see this after it launches. But I have one pick in the social fi sphere, and it's yet to be launched indeed. I wouldn't buy dead charts like this. I wouldn't buy charts that are just like not there at the moment, and I don't think this is going to recover. It could recover for something like a 3 to 5x, but I just think that the risk is just not there yet. It just doesn't make it worth it. Mlayer, I do want to put it into the WAGMI territory because there's been massive updates when it comes to Mlayer actually. So first of all, it's been one of the best performing assets in the last few weeks, despite the fact that the market has taken a bit of a downtrend. You can actually see that Mlayer is up 40% in the last month. I know that Mlayer has secured a massive round of investment. Let's actually see if I can find this information live. I saw it on the Telegram group. Yeah, it's actually here. So Mlayer was featured in Entrepreneur magazine, 3.5 million followers, by the way, with a 50 million ecosystem investment fund and other massive roadmap achievements. Here's picture is Enrico, the CEO of the company. This is freaking huge. So for all the FUDders, all the people that are just full of shit, just FUDding projects for no reason, trying to get better entries, this is for you, because this is so bullish news. And if you're sidelined on Mlayer, I'm sorry for you, because you've had such a good opportunity to accumulate this altcoin at below 10 million market cap that I'm not gonna feel sorry if you are not buying it. So whatever, I'm just gonna leave it like that. Then Sonic has not even had that big of a correction. Sonic has been performing quite well. It's one of my top picks. I'm also trading meme coins on the Sonic ecosystem. They're doing great. So yeah, Sonic is going to make it, but it's already making it. It's not really in bear market territory. So I'm not even sure why I put it here. I just put it there because it's really just one of my top picks. So I wanted to include my top picks. Then we have Oak Token. Oak Token, I just put it on the maybe. It's been performing very, very poorly, but I'm still bullish on Solana. And this is the top altcoin when it comes to Solana gaming. And when it comes to gaming tokens, if gaming was to come back, then I do believe that tokens like this are going to be very successful. But it's a maybe, because I'm not certain that crypto gaming is really going to make a comeback at all. This is my major concern. Not about this token itself. It needs to be more related, not just to the market overall, but also to the niches. Crypto gaming is just not what it used to be a few years ago, when I even started this YouTube channel a couple years back. Like, crypto gaming was so damn hot. Crypto gaming right now is not hot. It was replaced by meme coins, and then meme coins went into oblivion as well for a bit. So yeah, a lot of factors to consider here, but I just put it just sits it up as a big maybe. I'm also going to put Mavia. Mavia would also be one of my top gaming picks. I think that just the other day, it got listed on Binance Futures, but I might be wrong. I think I saw the announcement, so don't quote me on that. Maybe check it out if you want to confirm the information. I think it makes a lot of sense to buy Mlayer, but it really depends on the industry, as I was saying. And to wrap up on crypto gaming, I'm also gonna put Shockwaves. This is easily another of the better ones, especially because it also blends into the AI narrative. So I would also argue that it's got one of the largest potential into this list when it comes to the gaming niche to succeed, but we're obviously gonna see about that. Shockwaves is the name of the project, but the ticker is Neuros, okay? Then Rivestream, I'm also gonna put it into the maybe. It's too niche, like streaming and crypto. We're just not seeing a big demand on this, but it could as well like pick up so much in the future. If you think about it, and if you look at the early charts of Rivestream, like what was Rivestream doing at the very, very beginning? Rivestream did absolutely nothing from May 22 up until January 24. That is almost 2 years. So this is what it takes for the majority of crypto charts to actually recover. You need to understand this. Crypto is boring 99% of the time. Like, look at this. Crypto was boring for 99% of this chart, and then over 1 month from the 2nd of January up until the 31st of January, so a time frame of exactly 1 year, this chart went absolutely parabolic. This happened all in 1 month. So an altcoin that has been out for 3 years, all of the actions was in 1 month. So 36 months, 35 were extra boring, 1 month was exciting. So this tells you everything that you need to understand about crypto. The next one is gonna be Solan ID. I wanna put Solan ID into the we all gonna make it, because I know that the chart is not exciting, but Solan ID launched at a very unfortunate time for the Solana ecosystem, because it started launching really when Solana started underperforming. The movement in price of Solan ID, solid is the ticker, it's gonna be extremely intertwined with the movement on Solana itself. So assuming the Solana will go to news eyes this year, the SEC just acknowledged the Fidelity application for the Solana ETF. So there's a lot of bullish news for Solana. If Solana goes somewhere, if Solana doesn't die, then Solana ID is not gonna die. Then Solana ID is not gonna die and it's gonna perform very well in the future. So it sits right there. Then we have Agent Layer. Agent Layer, I wanna put it into the maybe, because listen, AI and AI agents are bullish, and at the end of the day, Agent Layer was one of the first, if not the first AI agent that I've covered on this channel, but the fact that it's so old already makes it not as appealing for new users. So because of that, I'm just like, I'm not sure, bro. Lithium, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be a father here, but I'm gonna say I'm not gonna make it, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why. Although I do believe that Lithium is such a legit altcoin, such a legit layer 1 crypto with good tech, with a good team, with good investors, etc. I just think that the layer 1 industry is so damn competitive right now that it's going to be so hard for these ones to stick out, because why would somebody invest into Lithium where there's altcoins that have way more mainstream adoption, like Say, like Sui, like Kaspa? Why would somebody, well, Kaspa not yet, but the community is cold, and the community of Lithium is also cold, but it's so damn small that, listen, I'm still holding a bag of Lithium, very little percentage of my portfolio, and I still like the community, but I also don't want to elude myself into thinking that Lithium is going to do something like 100x. So although I'm not necessarily bearish, I quite frankly believe that it's not going to make it because of how competitive the niche that it sits in is right now, and I think that only a selected few layer 1s are going to survive. So that is at least my take. Then we have Brett. Brett is still one of my biggest meme coin allocations. I'm going to put it into the maybe just because of Ethereum. Brett still performs quite well compared to what other Ethereum meme coins are doing. And I'm sorry to break it down to you, but if Ethereum doesn't go to a new all-time high, Brett is going to go to shit. If it was just for Brett and Brett was its own layer 1 blockchain, then I would say that Brett is going to be one of the biggest, best risk to reward plays in the market right now. But given that it's so correlated to the movement of Ethereum, and Ethereum has been one of the worst performing crypto assets into the top 100 of crypto, Brett sits into the middle spot because of that. Fleon also, I would put the same exact argument of Brett, but it's a much smaller case. So to some extent, it's even way higher risk than something like Brett, because the market cap is so damn small that all it takes is just a whale to sell this back to crash crash the price. So I'm just going to put it into the maybe. It really depends on Ethereum, but it's going to be obviously much higher risk, but much higher potential reward as compared to Brett. Tectum, I would love to put it right here next to Mlayer, but at this point, the Tectum chart is really not nice at all. And I haven't sold a single token. If anything, I'm not afraid to say when I make mistakes, etc. Like, this is the worst performing asset on my portfolio right now. I think I'm actually down 80% on my investment in this, which is like outrageous. I've also made incredible gains, so I don't really care if I lose 80% of a 5 or 6 figure investment. You can guesstimate how much I have in this, but what I can tell you is that it might recover, it might not. If it doesn't recover, I took the risk, I made a mistake maybe. Crypto is still gambling to some extent, and people say on crypto Twitter, no crying in the casino, so I'm not gonna cry if my investment in Tectum is 80% down. It could recover, it could not recover. I think that the tech is actually really good, and this is what drew me into this altcoin in the first place, but I do realize that I've lost a lot of money, so I'm not sure. It could recover, it could not. I'm definitely not going to sell now. And if it goes to zero, so be it. I'm ready for it. But it would be a shame because I think that the tech is actually really nice. Then Sui sits right here into the top with Sei and with Kaspa. But I would really make it a case for a top 2 of Sei and Sui. Sui, I would see it as the new Solana, and Sei, I would see it as the new Ethereum for a variety of reasons that are already covered into the videos in which I've deeply analyzed both of the assets. They are super fast. Adoption keeps increasing, and one of the most actually comforting data when it comes to both of these ecosystems is that the total value lock, especially the one of Sei, keeps increasing so damn much despite negative price action. And this is one of the top indicators that you want to see into the bearish phase of the market. AI tech, I'm also going to put it into the we're going to make it. I do think it's going to recover. Like, I have a strong conviction into this. I've just made a video last week, so I'm not going to talk more about it. And then Tars AI, Tai, I'm also going to put it out there because these are just like my top 2 AI investment at the moment. I've already covered them a lot, so if you're not new to my channel, I'm sure that you've heard me talk about Tars AI. I've also just posted a thread on my X profile, so make sure to check it out for some juicy news. And if you're not following me on X yet, I don't know what to tell you because I'm posting the alpha on there first, as well as on my free Telegram, which is completely free, so get in now to not miss anything. I thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the altcoins that I've discussed today. And if you want to get all my buy and sell alerts, all my trading signals, the degen signals, private sales, VIP hangouts, and a variety of other benefits, make sure to join my VIP group. It's going to be the first link down in the description, so I'll leave you to it. I hope to see you there and help you out with your crypto investing journey. And until then, take care for now.